everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hypocritical AF podcast. I'm your host, Alfred Fig, and in this week's episode, I am joined with Keith
Jouganatos. A lot of people, they don't really get it together. It's a Joe and then Ganatos.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm Greek, have Mexican problems. Story of my life.
I want to get to know you a little more and your background and everything.
Right now, I'm in contract with KAHI Radio. I do football for the Placer Hilton. And I'm just having a good time, man. I'm really in a good state of mind. It's the first time in a while I feel like I'm healthy. Spiritually, I'm just like within myself. I feel like in the past, God gives you gifts. And He gives you the ability to go out and do these great things in the world. But at the same time, those gifts can be abused.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, I was getting away with a lot of stuff because it's like, a lot of talent. But at the same time, like, I wasn't living life right. So now I'm just trying to incorporate all that. I'm not a perfect person by any means, believe me. But right now, I'm just really, really locked in. I'm having a great time. That's the most important thing. I'm having fun. I really can't explain what got me involved in what I'm doing now with broadcasting. I just really had a love for sports. I love the backstories. I love the game, how they unfold, the twists and turns, everything involved in it. And like, just for me, that was my outlet, was just watching the games, watching the finals, watching the Super Bowl, watching March Madness. I just thought it was so cool to see all these athletes at the peak of their athletic gifts, in the peak of their lives athletically and physically, just doing all these things. And I love the stories. I love the heroes. I love the villains that sports create. I think that's just so cool to me. It's like modern day theater. Yeah. And so for me, I just developed a love of that. I just started out on this journey, man, putting the headset on. And here I am now. And I should also mention Gary Gerald, the Sacramento Kings, who my favorite. Yeah. And
the local legend.
Gary set the bar for all of us now in this generation. Without Gary Gerald, there's no me, there's no Deuce Mason. A lot of people, I feel like, in this city, specifically, we looked up to Gary. And for him to be such a nice man is the icing on the cake for all of us, to give us the game and the knowledge. Yeah. But for me, that was just, what I aspired to do. And I really can't explain, why I'm here or how I did it. But, now to be starting on this road and finally actually doing a radio job in the business after so many years on YouTube and live streams. Yeah. It's great. I'm having fun.
Yeah, you put that work in. That's that grind. Yeah. That's the behind the clothes, quote unquote, behind the scenes that people don't see, or maybe they do see, but they're not really like in it.
There's this concept where it's like, I did it by myself. No one helped me. And that's not true, man. No matter how you look at it, there's people in your life that push you to do greater things. My high school history teacher, my sophomore year, Mr. Hill, you can actually do something with this. My mom, my pops, who supported me through thick and thin. There was a lot of thin before it got, there was a lot of thick. It can be whatever the case can be. But, my mom and my pops who supported my dream, who weren't dream killers, who actually told me, we believe in you, but you got to go out and get it yourself. I get emotional when I talk about my parents, no cap, because my mom and my pops didn't have the best relationship together. But they recognized that we have to be there for our son. Right. And at some point, it wasn't just about fighting or all that stuff. They put their best foot forward. They compromised that we got to make sure our son stays out of trouble. And my pops, he sacrificed everything for me, man. Yeah. And so did my mom, because it wasn't easy. My mom worked at DMV for 30 years, didn't complain, came home every day, made sure we didn't want for nothing, make sure I didn't ask for nothing. And that's the greatest gift you can give a child. Yeah. My mom is my world. My mom, when I was growing up, you deal with certain situations that you don't necessarily understand why this is the way it is. And then as you get older as a man or as an adult, you understand that in life, things happen. My mom went through a lot of things, but you would never know. And so that's why for me, like my mom, my dad, my pops, they did what they had to do. And that's why you look to your parents for inspiration or to a detriment. And just for me to be so blessed to have two parents that actually cared about me and loved me, that's the greatest gift you can give in life. Because a lot of people don't experience that kind of love for whatever reason.
I already feel that too, you know what I mean? I know exactly what you mean. And that's why I said that for whatever reason, having that support from your parents hits a little more. You know, like it means a little more. So that's solid, bro. And you know, shouts out to them for for doing that and keeping you afloat, and for being there for every single game. You know, that's big. You know what I mean?
Never missed one, even in college.
That's amazing, bro.
We lost a lot in college.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing.
My first ever job that I had in the business was at Shelton High School, class of 2012. I did the powder puff game my sophomore year.
I haven't.
They paid me in pizza, and I was so nervous, man. I was going to class the whole day. You know, I still get that same feeling now when I do a game. When I did back then, because I'm like, man, all my friends are going to this game. Everyone's talking about it. I'm so nervous. You know, all this and that. My stomach's turning. And from there, I just took that, and then in college at the student-run radio station, KSSU, I ended up just doing all the broadcasts. Because in order to have a radio show, you had to do community service. Which is basically like the games, you know, you broadcast the games on the radio station would count for that. But for me, I said, I just want to do the games. I didn't want a radio show. But my friend Sean Oko, shout out to Sean, you know, we did this radio show together, and he's like one of my closest friends to this day. I still love Sean. And I said, I want to do the radio show, but I just want the games. So I was volunteering for every single game. Softball, you know, like...
if there was snails racing, I would have signed
If there was a snails race, Keith Jouganatos would have been calling that snails race. But that really was like the time where I was just like honing in on my craft. And I was like sending out demos left and right. And so then NorCal Sports TV, who does like high school content on YouTube, they do games. You know, I saw their Instagram page. I was like, I wonder if they're looking for broadcasters. So I sent my demo. I told Dion, my producer at NorCal, I said, hey man, you don't know me, but like I'm about to graduate in a couple years. Here's my tape. Give it a listen. Like, just think you think. He's like, can you be in Fresno this Friday? Damn. So I'm like, this Friday?
Yeah.
So I pack up all my stuff.
Yeah.
I have no money to stay in a hotel.
But he didn't give you like a Friday, like 2 weeks, 2 days,
no,
1 night.
Trial run. He's like, I'm just gonna give you a trial run. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So I said, bet. I go to Fresno. I scrape up the money to stay at this Motel 6 overnight because I can't drive back to Sacramento.
Right.
For Fresno. That's a mission. So I do the games, and he's like, "What are you doing next weekend? We got a game on Friday." So now it's a situation where I got my foot in the door now. I'm doing games every single week. I'm working on my craft. I'm getting better a little bit after a little. Yeah. And to the point where, you know, I finally can put my demo reel out. I'm copying and screenshotting all this stuff, and I'm setting my demo reel out left and right. Then I get to the NFHS network, which is about 2 years ago. And that for me was like the end all be all, because in order to work for the NFHS network, you have to know somebody. Those jobs don't come open because guys are just looking for like a paycheck. They're looking, you know. But I'm like trying to work on this craft. So football season comes around. They have all the rights, like the playoff games. Yeah. So I tell them, okay, listen, you know, we do my demo tape, and they said, okay, we'll give you one game. So I do the quarterfinals, bam, knock that out the park. Okay, semifinals comes, bam, I do that. Yeah. Now I'm doing like state championship, 6A. You know, so bottom of the barrel, but at least I'm getting somewhere. You know?
Damn it, I love these stories. Keep going.
So now it's a situation where, okay, the pandemic hits. The night before the pandemic hits, I do the NorCal semifinal. March 2020, I get to go to Golden One Center to do the Division I section championship. And that for me was like the holy grail. You know, that was my Super Bowl because my pops used to take me to those games. Big time. My old high school was a basketball power in the area. They're in the championship. So now my old teachers are down there, band, all this stuff. Yeah. And I'm just thinking in the back of my mind of like how far I've come in such a little time to where it's like this game I used to go to with my pops growing up. I'm broadcasting now on the NFHS network online. Yeah. They get me to go to this section, the NorCal semifinal. And I call that game, and they say I do such a good job, I'm going to do it the next night. That game doesn't even almost happen because COVID starts hitting. So people are like, we got to shut this down, we got to do this, we got to do that. That next day, they canceled the whole tournament. So I went from in a span of 2 weeks from like, okay, NorCal championship, things are going great, bam, everything shuts down. I think I'm going back to work for the network. Yeah. And the longtime play-by-play voice of the Placer Hillman, he gives up his post I see this on Twitter.
Quit,
He just didn't want to be there anymore. Casey Freelo, he's a great broadcaster. Shout out to Casey. I'm good friends with him. So I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder who they're going to give that spot to.
Yeah.
I go to Disneyland. I get a call from Jason Ross, who works for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
He tells me, hey, man, they're looking, and I mentioned your name. So now I'm like, oh, man, I actually did this job.
Yeah. The
producer calls me up while I'm at Disneyland. Hey, Keith, this is so-and-so. Took a look at your demo reel. I think you'd be perfect for us. You have time to talk about the job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, let me call you in 25 minutes. I'm in line at Magic Mountain. So, like, now I can't think the whole day. I'm at Disneyland. I'm like, this is great. And eventually I got the job. But, you know, I'm just thankful that certain people gave me the opportunity to put my voice out there and see if I can fly or die. Feel me? Because now it's like, okay, I've been through the worst in my life. Now everything is downhill from here, man. And so if you just have that concept in your mind where it's like, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how tough the road may seem, I'm going to hang in the pocket and I'm going to go after my dreams, because anybody can quit. It takes a strong-willed person to understand that nothing comes easy. If everything came easy, what would the joy be in life from those moments when you said to yourself, I can't believe this is actually happening? You know, there's going to be good times and bad times in life. You know, you're going to struggle and you're going to elevate. You're going to fall and you're going to fly. But for me, I look at it as a situation where if the bad times never happened, I wouldn't be as thankful for the good times in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I just keep that mindset where it's like, you know what? I've been through worse. Whenever I come through a situation where I may seem like I can't get over it, I've been through worse. This is nothing.
Yeah. And it's also, it doesn't have to just be applied like that mindset that you got and everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to, it's not just with like a career path or just like something that you have like as a hobby. It could be applied to literally like just staying consistent with just working out or making a plan to just, I'm going to fix my car today, or I'm going to go for the next, say the next 5 days, I'm going to make sure I run a mile a day, right?
Yeah.
You can apply that same logic and that same mindset into that. You know what I mean?
So anything you do in life, man, just understand nothing comes easy and just keep your head down and keep going, man. And
what you said about it's fine, like a lot of people not seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I fall victim to that too. Sometimes, you know, there's some times where I get to a slump because I do see some stagnant, you know what I mean? But I also understand that, you know, it's just all a part of the process, and that the fact of, you know, the only thing that I can control I don't let I guess you would say, I don't let things that I can't control affect me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, stay consistent with what you say you're going to do. You know what I mean? And keep yourself motivated, if anything, you know. If you can't find motivation, find yourself to motivate yourself, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that, you know, for me, you brought it up earlier. You can find motivation in the littlest things, man.
Yeah.
You can find motivation in your boy who's like selling his CDs out the back of his trunk.
Yeah. You
can find motivation in the barber who cuts your hair, who stays late after 6 when he was supposed to be done at 5, just to cut that last head. You know, and a lot of people in this life draw inspiration from all walks of life. You know, just because, you know, you do sports broadcasting doesn't mean you can't find motivation in music. Doesn't mean you can't find motivation in somebody who's battling cancer.
Yeah.
And the doctor says, you know, you're on your last leg, but they got that motivation to say, I believe I'm going to beat this. You know, and the biggest thing in life that you can do is inspire your peoples around you. You know, a lot of times as human beings, we forget that it's easier to uplift somebody than it is to talk down on them and speak bad about them. You know, and that's the thing, is like those people in life that just encourage you to do better for yourself and believe in you and have that trust in you that you're going to get there one day. Those are the people you got to hold dear to your heart, man.
Hold them close.
Those are the jewels in the valley that you can't see, the diamonds in the rough. Those are the people, man, that provide for their community, make sure their people are straight, are always checking in on people. We need that now more than ever in this life, man.
Oh yeah,
it's people, it's people inspiring each other and having that positive energy thrown out there. You know, you can get way more done working together and believing in one another than far apart. That's the thing I hate about the last 4 or 5 years in this world the most, is that no matter what side of the coin you're on, albeit politics, whatever the case may be, man, we've forgotten the ability to sympathize with each other and come together.
Everybody seems to be divided, you know, in this side and this side.
And I've fallen ill to that. You know, I honestly think like I've fallen ill to the concept that like, oh, I can't mess with these kind of people or this kind of person.
Yeah.
And
it's taken me a good year of thoughts and recollection to understand that, you know what? Not everybody on the other side of the coin is evil. Not everybody doesn't think the same way you do is a bad person. It's just different thoughts. And I think once we do that and we understand that, you know, we're all in this together, we bleed the same color, you know, I think we're going to start seeing some more progress, but we need more uplifting in life. We need less negative energy thrown out there.
Not for sure. And then you hit everything right on the top. And I completely agree, people. But question 2, man, bro. So when it comes to like broadcasting, right? So I'm still kind of like, I think of it like, not like I think of it, but like I can compare it to like boxing and MMA, right? Yeah. I don't know if you're a fan of boxing and MMA or not.
Love boxing and MMA, man.
So I've noticed that they have
that McGregor fight was crazy.
Oh my God. I got like
the start, the
every
end.
Every time I think about it, my leg kind of just like I had like a little twitch. You know what I mean?
You see that who fought? Jake Paul who fought Tyron Woodley? Logan Paul. I have a hard time differentiating.
Yeah, Jake Paul fought Tyron Woodley, went to decision.
That was interesting.
It was
good. I don't know if it was good or bad for sport, but it is what it is. But yeah, I love boxing and MMA. I love it.
The reason why I asked you is because I know on those they have 2 different. There's a color commentator and a play-by-play. You know what I mean? How do those break that down for like people? Because I know a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie and say I know a lot of it.
So in a basic broadcast, whether it's soccer, football, basketball, baseball, you know, whatever the case may be, you're always gonna have 2 commentators. Okay. So play-by-play guy is basically what it says. He's giving the play after play after play of what's going on. So for example, if I'm the play-by-play guy and I'm telling you Albert has his black mic about 90 degrees to the right of him, got his headphones on, his hands are in a praying motion perpendicular to his stomach, thinking up about the great life and the great son that he has been blessed with. Man, this podcast is taking off, Bob. And if I'm the I'm the color guy, now I switch over. Yeah, you know, Albert, he came fresh to death today. He's got the Air Maxes on. He's got the salmon polo. He's got the light brown pants. Keith, he's a bum. He has the backwards hat on. I don't really see any drip from Keith, but it might be different. So they kind of play off each other, you know? Gotcha. So, you know, play-by-play guy, he's going to call the plays. Oftentimes, he'll give his opinion on the situation. And then the color guy, you know, he'll give his analysis on the game. So, for example, whenever this airs, you know, NFL Sunday coming up, you have the play-by-play guy. Brady over to Stallworth, gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming up at the Tampa Bay 47-yard line. Color guy will come in. Yeah, you know, Bob, it's just amazing to see Tom Brady at age 42, still in the pocket, hanging tough to the last minute. Boom, gets that football out there, gain of 5, and a great job by Stallworth, who's an upcoming wide receiver in the NFL. So, you know, they just play off each other. That's just basic, you know.
It's Marv Albert. I know that one. I know Marv Albert because we had, you know, his last name is my first name. But you know, there's a. Do you know the commentator for the Charlotte Hornets?
Yes, I've heard great things about Mr. E. Yeah,
he goes. He's great. My favorite is when he goes, "Oh my goodness." That's the one.
I honestly feel like I draw inspiration from the broadcasters who bring out the excitement in the game. Yeah. I think if there's one thing that I try to hang my hat on with any game I do, it's just bringing that excitement to the game. You know, life's supposed to be fun, man. Yeah. You're supposed to enjoy it. You know, Latino people like us, we love the party. You know, we love the party. You know, growing up, my parents and, you know, my family on my mom's side, Mexican, you know, we love the party. We like to be loud. We're boisterous. And I got 2 strikes against me because I'm half Greek and half Mexican. So we're loud. I'm going to be loud general. But I love, you know, drawing out that excitement in the game, man. And I love the game of football and basketball so much that, like, when I see a great play, when I see a dunk, I'm going to go crazy. Up high, down low. You know, like, and then, you know, if it's a football game, 45-40, 35-30, spins off one tackle, stiff arms, one man in the end zone for the touchdown. You know, just I love the excitement.
Damn, I feel like I'm right there.
I love the excitement that the game brings out in me. And I just love, you know, if there's one thing I try to hang my hat on, is like, make it exciting for the person listening. Because what if they're hearing you for the first time? That's true. But I love those commentators like Kevin Harlan and Marv Albert, great career. Those are the kind of commentators that I idolized growing up because they brought out the excitement in the story that the fan is thinking out loud, you know? And so those guys right there.
It's a last impression that a lot of times, like, say if you get like a casual person that's going to be watching sports, they might not know what's going on. You know what I mean? They're at a basketball game asking if they just scored a touchdown, or vice versa. They're at a football game asking if they made a 3, right? So what I noticed for a lot of those people, like I said, the casuals, they'll always be like, there's something that like leaves a lasting impression. And it might be the play-by-play, or it might be the color commentator, but it's someone on the broadcasting team that leaves a lasting impression for them.
Yeah, I mean, the rule of thumb in broadcasting is that obviously, you lose track of it in the media, is that you're not the reason someone's tuning into the game, but you can be the reason someone turns the game off. And I've never, as I get, older in this business and I'm starting my play-by-play journey, I make it a goal. I never want to be the reason that the game gets shut off. I never want it to be so that the fan says, I don't want to listen to this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's the death toll in any broadcast, whether you don't know a player's name, whether you're mispronouncing that. You never want to be a detriment to the broadcast. And it's not just the broadcasters that, do the job. You got producers, you got coordinators, you got equipment guys. And so I look at it as if I'm doing my job right, it's going to make everybody else, understand that they have to do their job right. And if we're all on the same page, man, we're going to give a good presentation. But you never want it to be a situation where you think it's all about you. You have to have a situation, a mindset where you're like, you know what, I'm going to do my part and I'm just going to let the game speak for itself. And I just try to do that every single game, every single situation.
That's super cool, dude. You know what I think about that too, because, and the reason why I brought the lasting impression that you get for it and everything is because I remember back in my high school, very, very small area.
Yeah.
They'd always say the same thing. The announcers would say the same thing every time, and it sticks with me to this day. Okay, so this is a football game, right?
Okay.
And if y'all are listening back home, y'all know what I mean. If I butcher it, I'm sorry, it's not my thing. But every time they would get a first down, right, he would go, and that's good for a Mustang. First down. Yeah. And also, like, I can't say where, but okay, never mind that part. But the Mustang first down, it's like, I think about that even to this day. And I'm like, 11 years removed from high school. So, like, I think about that to this day. So it's the reason why I said the lasting impression for that, too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think every broadcaster has their niche. You can get caught up in, in slogans and like key phrases and things like that. I try to spice it up. I think when I go back and listen to film, I always try to make sure that I'm not saying the same thing repeatedly over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But, for me, it's just like creating that, enthusiasm and just showing that enthusiasm you have for life.
That's dope.
And I think if you do that, man, you can't lose. Can't lose, man.
Can't lose. So what about this, man? How do you, like, if we separate, right, if we break Keith into two different pieces or two different personalities, I guess you would say, what's the other side of the non-broadcaster Keith? Like, you have this life for you, you have this goal, you have this passion. What about this other side? Like, what else are you into? What do you do when you're not commentating, when you're not doing play-by-play, or you're not thinking about any sports? What else do you do?
It's hard to explain because I really think that, like, there's this conception in life, or this concept, excuse me, where, nowadays the social media, you're going to portray your life to everybody. This is who I am. This is what I do. Like, your podcast. This is what we do every single week. We interview people. And so I think, people, as I started getting older, I'm not famous by any means.
Right.
But, in Sacramento, when I would start doing my videos and stuff like that, and I would go around town, people would be like, oh, yeah, you do the videos.
Yeah.
And then it was, oh, yeah, you're the broadcaster guy.
Yeah.
And I think people identify you as that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, especially in the last couple of years, I just used to shy away from that, where it's like, that's not just all of who I am. But at the same time, you just learn to embrace it, where it's like, you know what? If people, notice you for that, then that's, a positive. Because, like, people understand, they recognize your hustle. Now, not everybody knowing you is a good thing, obviously.
Yeah.
You have your detriments with that, and I'll leave that up to your own interpretation out there. But, for me, I think people think, like, you're supposed to talk a certain way when you're a broadcaster. If I was off the mic, no one would understand, would be able to identify my voice.
Yeah.
I've gone on dates. I've met people, and they're like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cap. I did not think you were going to sound like that. Now, there's some times where I like to mess with people.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
you order something?
Do the voice. Yeah. So, like, there'll be times like back in the day, I go to McDonald's or In-N-Out. Good afternoon. I would like, please, the number 9 meal with the large fries, buffalo sauce on the side, meat, cheese, and spread only, and a cheese fry. I'm getting like all the orders mixed up, but just mess with people. And
well, tell me you give them play-by-play with them making it too.
The cashiers would find it amusing sometimes, not all the time,
depending on who you catch.
Yeah, but there's certain times where just to mess with people, I will bring the voice out and go from there. But I think that there's this conception where people think like in your life that's all you do, and that's not the case. I like to read. I like to get tattoos. I like to listen to music. I like to work out.
Same.
And I just like to enjoy life, man. There's not really like one specific area I would say where like I go and I would identify with myself as. I like to go on hikes. I mean,
normal stuff, right?
Yeah, normal stuff, man.
Okay.
Us broadcasters, we have life too, man.
That's
do
cool.
Great things.
It's good. And the reason why I asked that too is because I wonder if you do get boxed into that. You know what I mean? They're probably thinking like, oh, they see you as this, or they only see what you show on Instagram. So the assumption is this is all who they are. And I just know from me personally experience, or my personal experience, I don't like to get categorized or boxed into one type of thing. And I'm like, I'm more than that. I can do this. I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
I think for me, the biggest thing was understanding that, like we brought up earlier, certain people are going to recognize you for certain things. And, people knowing you can be a good thing and a bad thing. I struggle with the concept of people knowing me. And like I mentioned, I'm not like a big famous person, but the fact that people know me, there was a time in my life where I would go to a bar or I would go to a nightclub and I would just be like, I hope no one recognizes me, because there were some times where it's like, I don't like that concept, like people knowing me, people know who I am, but this is the life we chose, man. And so at the end of the day,
that must be annoying.
I love what I do, but I just think that like, you don't know people's intentions. Some people aren't, always going to be positive, and, there's certain situations where people recognize you or, stuff like that. And, it's tough. But for me, I struggle with the concept of people knowing who I was. And I don't have social anxiety, but I was getting anxiety just like going certain places.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes it's funny, and I think it's a blessing at the same time that like some people recognize me and are supportive. I've had a lot of people that have come up to me like, hey man, I support what you're doing.
That's dope.
And keep going. So to all those people that have been doing that, and, thank you so much. It really means the world. But, I mean, obviously, it doesn't help me recognize all the time, but I just, it's my life and I'm having fun with it. That's all I can say about it.
Well, no, I definitely, I can echo those same sentiments, and I can literally know what you mean, because I'm in the same boat, or I was in the same boat, in the sense of like, I didn't like to get the attention. A lot of the stuff, I didn't like to be the center of attention. I didn't like when people would sing happy birthday. I wasn't the type to
I hate when people sing happy birthday. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
One thing that bothered me, I wouldn't like if we get like, if we get VIP table or something at a club, I didn't like the sparklers come over here.
You don't like the bottle service girls?
I don't like, well,
you wouldn't like half my friends.
The bottle service girls, different story.
Hey, shout out to all my friends who are bottle service women. We need to recognize bottle service women for who they are.
Yes,
They're great people, and some of them are going to college, and some of them are paying their taxes, and some of them are cool people as well. But hey,
I'm down to have some here in the back.
All bottle service girls matter. All bottle service girls matter.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I just didn't like the crazy sparkler ones going to a center spot and then me being the center attention. That would be like, I'd be like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. You know what I mean? And so I get you on that. You know what I mean? But one thing that the reason why I was saying was like, yo, that must be annoying sometimes, because I can't imagine being at a bar, right? You're just doing your own thing, and then someone comes up to you and just like, do the voice.
They don't necessarily do that. They just say like, we recognize you from Instagram or stuff like that. There was one night, so me and my cousin go out for drinks, right?
Right.
And obviously I was not driving, so I had a little more than I could chew. So it was me and my cousin. I think the great JC Newman was there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna name drop everybody. JC, my cousin, all these people, and I'm just floored, man. We go to the Merc. My cousin used to love to go to the Merc, and this guy,
dollar shots.
Yeah, I'm just waiting outside, man. I can't even walk. I can't even stand. I'm talking about my personal life way too much in this podcast. And this guy just recognized me, and he's having a full-on conversation, and I'm trying to understand what he's saying, and I'm just shaking my head because I really can't like comprehend what he's saying. So like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, and it's just like, moments like that when like you just want to like kick it. I mean, obviously Sacramento's a small town. You're gonna run into people in Sacramento, so it's bound to happen. But for me, like any support that I can get from people, they've been the best. Sacramento, That's my home, man.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be my home. And I love being from Sacramento.
That's dope.
And the people who have shown me support from Sacramento, I can't thank them enough. They're the best. They're passionate about their sports.
If you see them, say what's up, but don't be weird. Okay? Don't be weird. Yo, but
I mean, you could be weird, man, but just like, understand,
to an extent, yeah.
I might join you in that department. I don't know, man.
Yeah. We'll just see. We'll see how it goes, depending on how much he has to drink.
Yeah.
But bro, so bro, it's
Modelo
football season.
Especial.
Oh, I did a little I shot a little.
Oh, you like Modelo too?
Oh, for sure.
That's my drink.
Yeah.
Football,
yeah. So football season is upon us, and how? Well, I obviously being a play-by-play and just knowing sports and talking about football, I would assume, right? You were pretty hyped for this upcoming season.
Yeah, man. Let's go. Football season is
Here's the
back.
thing, though. Are there going to be fans?
Oh, yeah. There's fans of the Bucs game right now.
Is it really?
Well, the thing is, for most stadiums, you're going to have to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
All
the way around.
Like SoFi Stadium for you Raider fans, Levi for you Niner fans, Heinz Field for my Steelers. You're going to have to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
And that's just the law of the land. But I think if people love football so much,
they're going to do it.
They're going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to show
And that might be beneficial. I'm not pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine. By all means, let's be healthy. Let's be, safe.
Yeah.
To each his own. Your opinions are your opinions.
Yeah.
But I think any step we take to get through this virus, and if that is a vaccination, and the FDC, whatever the health care specialists say, if that's the steps we need to take, and that football stadiums and going to see your team in person are taken away from people who don't want to get vaccinated, and they want to be there so much they have to get vaccinated, so they go get vaccinated, I think that's a step in the right direction.
I just want to see fans, bro. Like, I want to be there, and I want to see the fans, because it does make the difference. You know what I mean? It sucked, bro. It sucked seeing some, like last season, seeing some stadiums with some people and then some without. And and then with baseball, I hated I get what they were doing. The cardboard signs did nothing.
I kind of like the cardboard cutouts.
You did?
It was kind of weird seeing people I knew in the Kings games.
Really?
It was cool. No, it was cool. Like just seeing people like that. But hey, little by little, we're starting to get back. I think the one thing that, like I said, this pandemic has taught us is being appreciative for what you have. And I think we all lost sight of that pre-pandemic. And, I won't say this pandemic is a great thing by any means, but maybe it gained a little appreciation in our minds and our hearts for what we love. And so to have fans back who are vaccinated and, just trying to keep this thing under wraps as best as we can, and those are the steps we need to take, then fans make all the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Fans in sports are everything.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see that, like, in the stands, and then just also be a part of it. But more than anything, I'm just excited that football's back, because we go through that little drought. It's not a drought, but it's like a little dry during the summer when you're
watching the XFL, Canadian Football League, and you're just like, oh, Johnny Football,
whatever,
just like,
12th soccer league, whatever is playing. You know what I mean? It's like. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying there's a difference. Something hits a little more when football's back. You know what I mean? And I don't have one specific sport that I watch more than the other. I'm a fan of football. I'm a fan of basketball. I'm a fan of MMA. I'm a fan of boxing, everything. You know what I mean? And I'm just excited to see it back. But so question about some football stuff, bro. So you said your team is Steelers, right?
I'm a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Shouts out to you on that.
To be fair,
I'm a good fan, but not to cut you off. I'm a longtime loyal Raiders fan, right? But I'm a good one. Meaning, like, I'm not one of those. I'm not going to stab you in the bathroom, right? Because I've seen that happen at a Raiders game. Another story.
And I know you don't want to cut me off, but like, if I hadn't been a Steelers fan, I'd have been a Raider fan. I would have been a Raider fan. The silver and black.
Yeah.
The Autumn Wind is a Raider. Bill King on the mic. Holy Toledo. John Madden. Ken Stabler. I would have for sure been an Oakland Raider / now Las Vegas Raider fan. I would have been a Raider fan. Shout out to my uncle. He's one of the biggest Raider fans. I would have been a Raider fan.
That's super cool.
That would have been my team.
Well, the reason why I say I'm a good fan like that is because I don't like to bash on other teams. Like, I mean, I might do like friendly bashing, like with a few of my homies or like whoever I'm with, like my cousin or something.
That's
like just kind of picking at whatever. But I'm never gonna fight anybody over a game. I'm never gonna try to beat someone up just because the opposition is there, like saying stuff. Not me, not what I do. But also, I've gone to 49er games. I've gone to Cowboys games. And my teams weren't even playing. I just like to. I like the being around sporting events. I just like to see games, and that's why I feel like I'm a good Raiders fan. But so
loyal to the soil.
There's a lot of stuff a lot of pieces going on and everything. And I'm curious for this one because I don't get to talk about sports too often to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, how do you feel about the Cam Newton situation?
In what regard?
The fact that let me ask you this: do you feel like it's about time for him? Like, like 9 years in the league now, something like that.
I think the problem you have with Cam Newton is that, it's a two-way street. So number one, the NFL in the modern 21st century is designed to protect the quarterback.
Right.
You can't touch the quarterback now without a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Because the NFL recognizes these are the guys that are the face of our league. We need to have them upright, make the most money. What happened with the quarterback situation when Michael Vick came into the league is that these running quarterbacks, these scrambling quarterbacks, the rules kind of got contorted and twisted because now it's like, you're running. When you step out of that pocket, you become a eligible runner with the football.
Yeah.
And, Michael Vick went through his share of injuries. Cam Newton is a bigger quarterback. I think he was listed at like 270, 275.
It's like 6'5".
Yeah. And so I think the refs said, oh, Cam Newton, you are built like this. You can take more punishment. I don't think that's what they really said. But Cam took some shots in Carolina. And it wore down his body to the point where, like...
It was a bad O-line.
Yeah. No, and he's not the same athlete that he was coming out of Auburn. When he was coming out of Auburn, Cam Newton is easily top 5 college football athlete I've seen in my lifetime. And maybe ever, if you really want to get technical. But his body is broken down now. And it's sad to see, man, because I was a big fan of his coming out of Auburn. And that game, national championship, Fiesta Bowl against the Ducks. It's sad because he is a cultural figure in the sport. Cam Newton, he's a cultural icon in the 21st century. And to see the way he's had to go out from being an MVP, 15-1 season to where it was just like, this fall, it's sad, man, because really a lot of people sympathize and relate to him coming from where he's come from.
Right.
And when you find an athlete or just anybody in general that makes it from where you come from, you want to root for that person, and it's sad to see. But I think that, I think he can be a backup, but I don't think he's designed to be a backup. His personality, his nature, he's got to be a starter. And it's not so much the ego, it's just that his personality, it doesn't breed backup material. In the NFL, there's like this stereotype, the backup, okay, clipboard, if you need something, go do it. Okay, if we call upon you and your name's called, then come in. Otherwise, just sit there and do what you got to do. I don't think Cam is designed to be a backup. So is it time to retire? No, I think he can play a couple more years still.
Yeah, just not at the level that he was.
But just not the level, and I don't think he's designed to be that backup that most teams, if they sign him, are going to want him to be.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my homies, Gil, about it. This was still there when it was a preseason, and he had started. I forget which game it was, but they had started him. He played one game, and they named him the starter. And I remember I was talking with Gil, and I go, bro, they named him the starter. You know what I mean? Like, and then literally like the next day, they go, he's been cut.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. Like,
I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Mac Jones picked up the playbook a lot sooner. And Mac Jones, I don't know if this is true, but like also you have to put in perspective. The NFL is now saying if you get this virus and you have to sit in players, you will forfeit that game.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's a situation as a team where it's okay, if being vaccinated is part of making sure that we're on the same page and we're not giving up any games, you're only getting 16.
Yeah.
Or actually 17 now. But the rule changed. You're only getting 17. So if you forfeit one, that is a difference between being a playoff team and out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And with Cam, okay, you've got the COVID virus already once. Let's get vaccinated now. No, I don't want to do it. Okay, Mac Jones, I'll get the vaccine, and I'm playing a little bit better than you are at the moment. Yeah, there's going to be a situation there.
And it's the Patriots and it's Belichick. Their system,
they don't go for flash.
Yeah, it's win. It's the systems. It's all about getting into the systems and everything. It's not so much on the person. But I wanted to get your perspective on that because I was still, what I was listening to today? I heard this story. I don't know if it's true. I can't cite my sources. I'll just say a podcast, right? I was listening to this one podcast.
Okay.
And there was a story that he said that that supposedly when he was in college, before he went to Auburn, he was going to be a Gator with Tebow.
He was.
Sure about that?
He was actually there.
And it was was supposed to be like them two were supposed to be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Percy Harvin still did his thing, but supposedly it was like a laptop thing. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I mean the story was that he stole a laptop, and after that he was kicked off the team.
I don't know why. I swear I'd never heard about this.
No, it's there.
It's
there.
Yeah. I don't know for whatever reason I'd never heard about it. And I mean, I saw photos of him, with Tebow, because when Tebow was in college, it was like the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and I just #1 selling freaking jersey and shit.
Oh yeah,
and so I knew I've seen pictures of them together and everything.
Yeah,
I just didn't know this story to that extent, and I was just like, oh wow, I didn't know that. But I just so to finish off with the Cam thing, I was just like, I feel for him, but also I'm just like, can you? It's the league right now is kind of like, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And if we go off as the last season, not exactly the best. Yeah. And then now injuries. There was glimpses of like, oh, there he is, and there was times where it's like, no. So I just was like, I was thinking about that all day, and I was just like, I'll just save it for here to talk about it.
Yeah, no. Well, in general, pro sports is always going to be, what have you done for me? What have you done for me lately? Environment. Yeah. You've got owners that are investing billions and billions of dollars into these teams. Mm-hmm. If a guy gets injured, he can't play the way he used to play, they'll cut you in a minute, and that's just the cold and heartless nature of the beast, and it's not just Cam Newton. It's a lot of dudes that they got injured and teams got rid of them. And that's just what it's always going to be, because it's always going to be a what have you done for me lately kind of environment. And it's a sad thing, but at the end of the day, sports. That's the business.
Yeah, that's sports.
Sports is a business now.
Yeah, that's how it's all about the bottom line. Yeah. If you affect the bottom line or not, you know what I mean?
Are you helping me win or not? Mm-hmm. If you're not, okay, cool, later.
I mean, it's even with basketball, you know what I mean? Yeah. There was some news that you see. I don't know if you followed it or not, but DeAndre Jordan signed with the Lakers.
Yeah.
But to me, it was a little off. I felt a little weird about it.
Half the world is signed with the Lakers now.
Half the world is signed with them. But if I was like, and then LaMarcus Aldridge is now back with the Nets, or going to be with the Nets.
Yeah, he unretired.
Unretired, but it was just like, so, I mean, I think DeAndre Jordan, it was just like, they had a chance, the Brooklyn Nets, I feel like they had a chance to win it. I think if you get a healthy Kyrie, I think they go to the finals, and I think they win, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But it was interesting to see DeAndre Jordan leave that, because I know he was with the Knicks, and then was with the Nets. It's still New York and everything. And then from go to there and then have we're coming back next year. Next year's, mm-hmm. And then it just gets shipped to literally across the country, And again, that's just sports. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just felt for DeAndre a little bit. Do you remember when he was? Oh yeah. When that happened with when he was leaving the Clippers,
they locked him out. They locked him in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see an arms race in the NBA. Really, I think mm-hmm. that there's this concept where the Nets, Lakers, the Bucks, maybe now they've got that championship, have more rapport, and the way Giannis stepped up in the finals, legendary performance
for sure.
But for the Nets and the Lakers, it's going to be this arms race. So now guys are stacking up. How can we help this team win? If the Lakers and the Nets meet in the finals and everyone's healthy, that's going to be much CTV. That'll be the most watched finals in the last 10, 15 years, because of the star power and even the role players who used to be all-star caliber players. It's going to be an interesting NBA season, because the Lakers aren't the favorites to come out of the West. You still got Phoenix. You still got to find out what Dallas is going to do. There's a whole lot of the Nuggets now that Jamal Murray's healthy.
Yeah.
In the NBA, especially in the Western Conference, you could legit see 6, maybe 7 teams have a viable case for if they're clicking on all cylinders. Utah, mentioned Denver, the Clippers, they're still there. The Lakers.
Let's not forget about the Warriors. Klay Thompson.
Exactly.
Back.
So come on now. There's 6 or 7 teams that could very well in the Western Conference and all be vying for the trip to go to the finals. It's going to be a great NBA season.
Yeah, I'm excited for that upcoming season. I'm excited for this football season. Just excited to get a sense of normalcy back when it comes with the sports and everything.
Exactly.
Like I said, last year left with I'm not gonna say sour or bad taste. It was just it was cool. I mean, no, sorry, not last year. The lockout, when they were in the freaking, you know what I mean? When the Lakers had won and it was in that bubble. I didn't really like that bubble.
I like the bubble.
Did you like it a lot?
I thought the bubble was, for what it was and the time frame, was inventive. Mm-hmm. I thought that given how much time the NBA had to get this done, it was the only thing on TV. Mm-hmm. The virus was impenetrable, which was crazy given all the people, all the staff. They had everything set up. They were in talks with the CDC, the health departments, all those organizations, can we do this? Can we not do this? And it really was just great to see the season end, because the way it abruptly stopped, that was things there has to be a championship. In my mind, I'm understanding that, life right now is crazy. People are dying left and right from this virus. This is a real virus out there.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see the season end and all, for as selfish as it was.
Yeah.
And, to see LeBron James is my favorite NBA player of all time. My favorite basketball player ever. I've been a LeBron James fan my entire life. I have his jersey.
That's dope.
I'm a LeBron stan to a T. To see him win the championship, it was great. Amazing. But, just the way they did it, I thought the bubble was inventive. And I think we learned a lot of things about basketball and the sport that could be, that camera that was following the players as they brought the basketball up the floor.
Yeah.
The fact that there was more room for guys to work with. It was a situation where it felt like a big pickup game every single night. And you saw guys, just get off left and right, man, that usually do not get off. And we're going crazy. It was just great for the sport. And it was great this year as well to get out of that bubble and go back to regular stadiums or regular arenas, I should say.
And it's actually, to give, I can even go a step further and give them their props too. Cause it's like, you remember the NFL. I remember one time the NFL was talking about doing that, but it's like, they can't.
You can't do that with football. No.
Not to that scale.
Too many players.
Yeah, the bubble,
and coaches and personnel.
For what it's worth, what they did, they got it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just didn't like how quiet it was. I mean, but I guess for you as a broadcaster, you're like listening, like tuning in, or did you just kind of like zone it out?
Yeah, and when you're an aspiring broadcaster, you're always listening to the guys that are on TV because that's where you aspire to be one day.
Right.
And so you're always listening for little things. In my mind, I was thinking to myself, it's kind of cool to see like the broadcasters, like their audio. Like I can imagine like them like usually doing a game where it's like a packed like 25,000 fans in the stands at Arrowhead going crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And then not to have that happen, like, it's a little different. I
feel it, man. Yeah. I feel it, bro. But to man, I could keep going talking about sports all night. But we're getting ready to wrap this up, bro. Like I said, I keep them generally, like around the hour mark. I got a question though.
Yeah.
More of a personal one.
Sure.
If you had a layout and you had, let's just say you had the Infinity Gauntlet, right? And you could just snap your fingers and lay out exactly what the next
like
5
Thanos?
Years. Yeah. If you could just snap your fingers and then, give a layout exactly, you know what you're going to do and you know what you're going to be, and give a specific layout for over the course of 5 years, right? Where do you see that layout, and where do you see that yourself in 5 years?
That's a good question. Honestly, for me, I think this year, next couple of years, I want to be working at KAHI. I love the staff we have, and I love the fact that they gave me an opportunity.
Dope.
And that is the end all be all. So I would like that as the first Infinity Gauntlet. The second one, I really want to get a job at either like a D1 college or D2, D3.
Dope.
And just doing stuff for them on the radio. And then from there, man, honestly, like everything else is icing on the cake. My main infinity gauntlet right now is be happy, make good choices, live my life with no regrets.
Yes.
Be a productive citizen and do things the right way.
Yeah.
I don't look at my career as, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? I used to have that concept in my mind.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I need to be here, here, and here. And I just realized, just enjoy the ride, man.
Yeah.
Because life is short. In a perfect world, I just want to be on TV doing a game somewhere. Yeah. If it's for CBS or ESPN, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Yeah. But for me, I enjoy what I love. And if there's going to be someone out there, whether it's, at the highest highs or not at the highest highs, that says, Keith Jouganatos, we want you to broadcast our game. That's all I need. That's all I need to be happy. And, for me, that's the main thing, is just enjoy my life and be happy. Live my life with no regrets and just be the person that a lot of people who put that faith in me to be want me to be and believe that could be. I believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And, from there, it's just going to be a smooth ride. But I'm having fun with my life right now. I'm the happiest I've been in a while. I'm really just looking forward to, seeing what I can do in this business. And hopefully I have a lot of years left in me to just do what I love, man, and putting on this headset. And I can't ask for anything else if that's the way it ends,
That's amazing, man. Yeah. That's your 5 year. And like I said, it's a general one. It's nothing specific, and I think that's amazing, bro. That's one that a lot of people should, try to emulate and to think about. Because right away, because I've asked a question before, and if I understandably so, right away their mind goes straight to the career type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's super dope that you're looking. It's not just career; you're just looking at life in general.
Oh, yeah.
So super dope on that, man. Last minute thoughts. Anything that you want to cover? Anything you want to tell the people?
Hey, man. I just can't thank everybody enough who's helped me in my life to get to this point, even if it's just where I'm at right now. My mom, my pops, my family.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to the city of Sacramento, man, for everything they've done for me. I was like, where's that coming from? It's a special feeling to come from Sacramento and just, I've had my battles with the city, believe me, man. It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I've done some stuff in my career so far that I'm very proud of. But I know I've also done some stuff that I've regretted. And, I can't thank the people at HOF enough for what they did for me. I can't thank, just everybody in general who's allowed me to work with them in the past, whether it ended good or bad. I'm just really thankful for the people that have given me an opportunity. And, hopefully, I just keep doing, all the right things, and, I'm just having fun, man. But thank you to everybody in Sacramento who continues to support me and just really just stays up to date with me and just, has never stopped believing in me, never given up on me. I just can't thank them enough.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. So y'all take notes, like I said. But yeah, that's it, bro. That's a wrap.
That's it.
That's a wrap, bro. And yeah, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for everybody who's watching. Again, I want to say too, thank you for all the support on my behalf and everything that you guys do for this podcast, and not just this podcast, but for this platform to be able to provide it for people like this. So
thank you for having me. Hey, man, what you're doing,
man, appreciate
what
it.
you're doing with this podcast is great. I love seeing people create content, and if you ever need me back on again, you got my phone number.
For sure, yeah.
And you're gonna do great, man. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. This is cool.
Well, sports season is here, and I need someone to go back and forth with.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. All right. Well, anyway, thank you again to my guest, Keith. Y'all stay safe. Peace.
Have a good one.